Okay, the materials we're going to need for this project, you're going to need your N or 9mm crochet hook, and you're also going to need your G hook or 4mm crochet hook, and your tapestry needle, scissors. You're also going to need some white thread and a sewing needle, a regular sewing needle, and you're going to need the buttons for the eyes, and I'm using the Lamode buttons for the eyes. And you're going to need 2 of the favorite thing findings buttons. I'm going to use these for the cheeks, the pink ones. So just 2 of those for the cheeks. And then also with the favorite findings, I'm using the black buttons out of here for the buttons. You're going to need 3 of these for the buttons on the Gingerbread man's jacket. And the yarn you're going to need, I'm using all Red Heart Super Saver, and the main body of the Gingerbread man is going to be a chamois or buff color. And you're also going to need some black yarn, and here I'm just using the Jumbo Red Heart Super Saver black for the mouth. And then this is for the icing around the Gingerbread man, again Red Heart Super Saver, and I'm just using the soft white color. And then you're going to need a red, this is Cherry Red, Red Heart Super Saver, and a green, the Red Heart Super Saver, and this one's Hunter Green. And the first thing we're going to do is just get the main color, and go ahead and get your 9mm or N hook, and we're going to do the magic circle. So you're going to take the yarn and just drape it around your 4 fingers, and you kind of stabilize it with your thumb, and then just wrap it twice around your middle fingers, and then hold it in place with your pinky and your thumb, and then just go under the 2 loops on your middle finger and grab the yarn and bring it under those 2 loops, and we're going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through that loop for your knot. And now we're going to do 6 single chains into the magic circle. So you're going to go under, yarn over, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both loops for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then go ahead with your forefinger and thumb, grab the bottom of the 6 single chains, and then you have these 2 loops on the side. You're going to grab one and pull it tight. If it doesn't close, just let go and grab the other one. Grab whatever one that will close and then pull on it. Don't pull it too tightly, and then grab the loose yarn and pull on that. And then don't worry if you have a little bit of a hole there, you can close it later. You don't want it too tight because you want to be able to work into your stitches. So in the first stitch, you're going to do 2 single chains, and we're going to be doing 2 single chains in every stitch around for a total of 12. So 1, 2, next stitch, 1, 2, for a total of 4 single chains. Next stitch, 1, 2, for a total of 6 single chains. Next stitch, 1, 2, for a total of 8 single chains. Next stitch, 1, 2, for a total of 10. And then the last stitch, you're going to do 2 single chains, 1 and 2. So now you have 12 single chains. And the next row, we're going to go ahead and use a yarn marker. So go ahead and get your yarn marker. Put it right where you left off. And then you're going to do an increase row, and you're going to do 1 single chain in the next stitch and then 2 single chains in the next stitch. So in the next stitch, you're going to do 1 single chain, yarn over, and then the next stitch, you're going to do 2 single chains. 1, and then the same stitch, 1 more for 2 single chains. So go ahead and repeat that pattern all the way around back to your yarn marker, and then come back and I'll show you the next step. Okay, so your work should look like this. Go ahead and get your yarn marker, move it up to the next row, and we're going to do another increase round. Now you're going to do 1 single chain in the next 2, and then 2 single chains in the next stitch. So in the next stitch, you're going to do 1 single chain, next stitch, 1 single chain, and the third stitch, you're going to do 2 single chains in the same stitch. 1, 2. Go ahead and repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker and come back and I'll show you the next step. Okay, so your work should look like this, and we're going to take the yarn marker and move it up, and this is going to be your last increase round, and we're going to do 1 single chain in the next 3 stitches, and then we're going to do 2 single chains. So in the next stitch, you're going to do 1 single chain, second stitch, 1 single chain, third stitch, 1 single chain, and then in the fourth stitch, you're going to do 2 single chains in the same stitch. So go ahead and repeat that pattern all the way around back to your yarn marker, and then come back, and then I'll show you the next step. We just finished that round, and your work should look like this. Now we're going to go ahead and do a slip stitch. So in the next stitch, you're going to yarn over, and then just come through both loops on the hook. And then you're going to finish off, yarn over, and just bring it through, and just leave enough to sew into your work later. Now you're going to go ahead and you're going to work 1 more of these, and if you don't like the center being open, what's nice about the magic circles, you can just take that yarn that's on the other side and just pull on it, and then that closes up that hole nicely. So go ahead and make 1 more of these, and then we're going to start on the body, and you're going to work the body the same way up to where we stopped on the head, and don't finish off, and then we'll finish continuing the body, the increased rounds on the body. So go ahead and do 1 more of these, and then start working on the body up to the point where we stopped on the head. Okay, so you should have finished 2 for the head. You can set those aside and then start it on your body. So we're right back to where we had slip stitched and finished off on the head, but for the body, we're going to keep trying to make it bigger. So go ahead and take your yarn marker and move it up to where you left off. And now we're going to do 1 single chain in the next 4, and then we're going to do 2 single chains in the 5th stitch. So in the next stitch, we're going to do 1 single chain. Next stitch, 1 single chain. Third stitch, 1 single chain. Fourth stitch, 1 single chain. And then in the 5th stitch, you're going to do 2 single chains. 1, 2. So go ahead and repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker, and then come back and I'll show you the next step. Okay, so this is how your work should be looking. Go ahead and take the yarn marker and move it up to the next row. We're going to do another increase row, and this time we're going to do 1 single chain in the next 5 stitches, and then do 2 single chains in the 6th stitch. So in the next stitch, you're going to do 1 single chain. Second stitch, 1 single chain. Third stitch, 1 single chain. Fourth stitch, 1 single chain. 5th stitch, 1 single chain. And then in the 6th stitch, you're going to do 2 single chains in the same stitch. So go ahead and repeat that pattern all the way around back to your yarn marker, and then come back and I'll show you the next step. Okay, so we're going to do 1 more increase round. Go ahead and take your yarn marker and move it up, And then you're going to do 1 single chain in the next 6 stitches, and then do 2 single chains in the 7th stitch. So in the next stitch, you're going to do 1 single chain, 2nd stitch, 1 single chain, 3rd stitch, 1 single chain, 4th stitch, 1 single chain, 5th stitch, 1 single chain, and then the 6th stitch, 1 single chain, and then in the 7th stitch you're going to do 2 single chains in the same stitch. So go ahead and repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker, and then come back and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, so that was the last increase round. Now we're going to go ahead and slip stitch. So go ahead and go into your next stitch, yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. Oh, the last one's a little tricky. Just like that. And then go ahead and finish off. Go ahead and yarn over and pull through. And then just pull a little bit to sew in later. And you're going to make one more, just like this one. And then come back, and then I'll show you the next step. We're back, and you should have 2 made for the body, and also the 2 for the head. And now we're going to make the arms and the legs, and we're going to make them all the same. So I'm going to show you how to make these. You're going to make 4 of them. And we're going to start with the magic circle. So go ahead and drape the yarn across your 4 fingers, and then you're going to loop it twice around your middle fingers, and then you're going to hold it with your pinky and your thumb and hold it in place. And then you're going to take your end hook or 9mm crochet hook and just go under the 2 loops on the middle fingers, and then you're going to grab the yarn and bring it under, and then you're going to grab the yarn, turn your hook upside down, and then go through the loop. That's your knot. And we're going to do 6 single chains into the magic circle. So you're going to go under, grab the yarn, 2 loops on your hook, grab the yarn, pull it under for 1 single chain, 2 single chains, 3 single chains, 4, 5, and 6. And then you're just going to take your forefinger and your thumb. You're going to grab at the base of the 6 single chains that you just did. You're going to have 2 loops on the opposite side. You're going to pull on one of those. If it doesn't move, go ahead and let go and pull on the other one. But this one was moving, so I'm going to go ahead and pull on that. Don't pull it too tight, because you want to be able to get into the stitches. And then go ahead and grab the loose yarn and pull on that. And your work should look like this. And we're going to do 2 single chains into every stitch. Oops, sometimes that first stitch is a little difficult to get into. Okay, so go ahead and get into that first stitch. You're going to do 2 single chains into that stitch. There's 1, 2, next stitch, 1, 2, you have a total of 4, next stitch, 1, and 2, total of 6, 1, and 2, total of 8, next stitch, 2, 1, 2, total of 10, and then the last stitch, 1, and then 2. So you have 12 total single chains around the circle, and you can see the little hole in the center. If you turn it over and you pull on that string on the back, it'll close that circle for you. That's what's great about the magic circle. And then go ahead and get your yarn marker and put it in place. And now we're going to do one single chain in every stitch, and you're going to do that for 4 rows. I'm going to do a couple with you. So in every stitch, you're going to do one single chain. So just one single chain in every stitch, and you're going to do that all the way around, and you're going to do that for 4 rows, and then come back, and then I'll show you the next step. All right, you should be back, and you can see from your yarn marker you have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. So now we're going to do a slip stitch into the next stitch. You're going to yarn over and then just pull the yarn through both loops on the hook, and then you're going to finish off. Go ahead and yarn over and then pull through the loop on your hook and pull enough to sew onto your work. And now you have all of the pieces. So we're going to go ahead and work on the head first. We're going to do the face. So on the head you have the string from the magic circle on the inside. That's what's going to be on the inside part of the gingerbread man. So just make sure that you line them up so you'll have those in the inside part of the gingerbread man. And you can go ahead and line up your pieces, how you're going to sew them together. And then go ahead and get the pieces for the face. Okay, so you're going to get your 2 black buttons for the eyes, and go ahead and position them where you want them on the face. And below the eyes, I went ahead and sewed on the little cheek buttons with your sewing needle. And the eyes I put in from the side about 1 stitch on both sides, and then you can make sure that it's lined up evenly across, and the cheeks are directly below the eyes. And then I followed the curve with my tapestry needle and then sewed in the mouth. So you just kind of sew in a mouth between the 2 cheeks right along the curve there. And then when you're done putting your face on, you're going to go ahead and take some more yarn, the same color as the head, and then just put it onto your tapestry needle because we're going to sew the head together. All right, so you should have your tapestry needle and the yarn for sewing the pieces together. And before we sew the head together, we're going to go ahead and sew the body together first. So you're going to line up the body so that you have the center magic circle loose yarn in the middle. Have the right side facing out, and then line it up. And then you're just going to take your tapestry needle and you're going to go start anywhere you like. I'm going to go ahead and start here because I have a yarn that I could tie a knot to. So you just go in superficially. And then just leave enough for tying your knot. And I like to tie it 3 times just to make sure it's nice and secure. And then you're just going to finish sewing the pieces together. Just weaving in and out superficially, just catching the stitch. So go ahead and do that all the way around, and then I'll show you how to sew the head on. All right, so the pieces should be sewn together for your body of the gingerbread man. So go ahead and take the head, make sure that you line it up how you're going to sew it together, because we're going to sew the edges on the head also, but you want to make sure that you sew the head onto the body like this. So you're just going to sandwich the head onto the top, and then the back portion you're going to sandwich on the back about 1 stitch down. So go ahead and take your tapestry needle, and you can start up at the top of the head from the back, just superficially. Take the stitch, and then you can go ahead and just leave enough for sewing in later, and then tie your knot. And then you're just going to take and go around, again just taking that superficial stitch on both sides, and then you're just going to sew it all the way around. And then when you get to the body, you're just going to make sure that you sew it onto the body as you're going around. So go ahead and do that, and then come back, and then I'll show you the next step. So the head of the gingerbread man should be sewn on to your body of the pot holder or hot pad. So I went ahead and sewed in my loose ends, and how you can do that is just take your tapestry needle and just put the loose end yarn onto the tapestry needle and just bury it into the work. You can just come up through the back or wherever you want to get rid of that loose end, and then just cut it. Whoop. Throw my scissors. Okay, and so now you're just going to go ahead and sew on the arms and the legs. So go ahead and position where you want the arms. I'm going to put mine with the tapestry needle. I'm just going to go to about 2 to 3 stitches down from the head. Same on the opposite side, and then the feet, just position those on the bottom. And then when you're done, come back and I'll show you the next step. So your work should look like this. And you can see where I sewed the arms on. I went about 3 stitches down from the head on both sides. And then for the feet, I have about 2 stitches between the 2 feet. Just like that. And now we're going to go ahead and sew the buttons down the center of the gingerbread man. So you can go ahead and take your sewing needle and white thread, and you're just going to place, I'm going to sew the button on the center first, and then I'm going to take and sew the top button, and then I'll line up the bottom button. So go ahead, sew your buttons on, and then come back and I'll show you the next step. We're back, and you should have your buttons on. This is how I did my buttons along the center, and did about 2 stitches down for the top one, and then the center one, and then about a couple stitches more down, did the other third button. So now you're going to need your G-hook or 4mm crochet hook, because we're going to do the icing on the gingerbread man. So go ahead and get your soft white or whatever yarn you're using for the icing, and we're going to start at the top because we're going to cover this with the hat anyway. But go ahead and take your hook and go through the top of the head, and then just get the yarn for the icing, and then you can turn the hook and try to hook it in to the spot you're going to use. And then you're going to do a single crochet, single chain. Just go through the loop on your hook, and then you're going to just turn over and just tie a knot. And I like to tie it 3 times just to make sure it's nice and secure. And then we're just going to bury the yarn end as we're working. So go ahead and chain 2. One, 2, and that's going to be your first half double crochet. And we're going to do half double crochets all the way around. Go ahead and yarn over. And you're going to go into the next stitch, and the same time you're going to be burying the yarn end. Go ahead and yarn over. 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and go through all 3. and then yarn over, go into the next stitch, then yarn over, 3 loops on your hook, go ahead and yarn over and go through all 3, and then yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and go through all 3, and you're going to do this all the way around the gingerbread man. I'm going to do a couple more with you. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through all 3. So go ahead and finish doing the half double crochets all the way around the gingerbread man, and then come back and I'll show you the next step. Okay, I just wanted to show you when you get to the arm, there's not going to be an easy stitch for you to see like there was on the head. So all you're going to do is just go into the stitch the best you can all the way around. And just make a stitch as you're going around the arm. You're going to do the same thing when you get to the legs also. As you're working your way around, you may have to put more than one stitch into the corners just so it will lay flat. So on some of the corners I've just put more than one half double crochet into the same stitch just to go around the corner. Alright, so you should be back to the head, and now we're going to do a slip stitch into that first half double crochet that we did. So just go to the top of that half double crochet and then yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook, and then go ahead and yarn over. We're going to finish off and pull through, just leave enough to bury into your work. And you can see how the icing looks on your gingerbread man, and mine is curling up too along the head, so that's normal and that looks okay. And then now we're going to do the scarf that goes on to the gingerbread man. Go ahead and get your red and your green yarn and also your N or 9mm crochet hook, and then we're going to go ahead and do our slip stitch. And how I do that is I just fold the yarn over and make a little loop, and then I just hold it in place with my middle finger and my thumb, and then put the hook right through the loop I made, and then I yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through the loop, and then you have your slip stitch. And then we're just going to yarn over and just do single chains for as long as you want the scarf to be for the gingerbread man. So you just keep single chaining, yarn over and pull through the loop on your hook. Alright, so I finished 50 single chains, so I'm going to go ahead and finish off. Just yarn over and pull through, and just pull enough for the end of the tassel on the scarf. And then just pull that tight, and then you're just going to put the scarf around the gingerbread man, and I just tied one little loop here. Just like this. And then the scarf ends are going to go along the edge of the gingerbread man. So go ahead and get your red yarn for sewing, and then put it onto your tapestry needle, and then come back and I'll show you how to sew the scarf on the gingerbread man. So you should have your tapestry needle with the red yarn on, and go ahead and take and go behind the gingerbread man into the scarf and into the front of the scarf, and just pull that through. Leave enough on the back for tying your knot and burying the loose end, and then just sew the scarf on to the gingerbread man. And so you're going to keep on sewing, and then just sew the scarf so that it follows the edge of the gingerbread man on the side. And then come back, and then I'll show you the next step. So you should be back and finished sewing on your scarf. This is how mine looks, sewn on here, and I just draped the scarf ends down the side, and they're sewn on pretty good. And then the tassels are just hanging freely. So now we're going to do the hat for the gingerbread man. So we're going to start with the white for the hat. And I'm going to do my slip stitch. So I'm just going to loop it over just like this. And then I'm using the G hook or the 4mm crochet hook. And I'm just going to hold the loop with my middle finger and thumb. And then I'm going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and then just go through the loop on the hook for my slip stitch. And now I'm going to make chains. 1, these are single chains, loop, bring it through the loop, 2, 3, 4, and then you're just going to do however big that you want the hat to fit on the gingerbread man. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we have to remember that it's going to double over 2. So I'll show you what I mean. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So just check the size, and it looks like I'm going to need a little bit more. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So it's going to be about 30 single chains long, and then you're going to chain 2 for your first half double crochet. So your thumb and your middle finger are going to be on the last stitch that you made, and then you're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then you're going to yarn over, and then you're going to go into that third stitch that you were holding from the hook. Go right into that stitch, and then you're going to yarn over. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and go through all 3. So now you have 2 half double crochets, that first one and then the second one. And you're going to do half double crochets all the way across back to the beginning. I'll just do a couple more with you. So yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, then yarn over and go through all 3. Do one more, yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, and then yarn over and go through all 3 for a half double crochet. And then you're going to do half double crochets all the way back to the beginning, and then come back and I'll show you the next step. Alright, so you should have reached the end, and I did a half double crochet in my last stitch. So now you're just going to fold the work in half, make sure you don't twist it, and you're going to do a slip stitch into the top of the previous, in the beginning stitch, just like that. And then go ahead and yarn over, turn your hook upside down, and then just pull the yarn through both loops on your hook. And then we're going to change colors. So you're going to go into the next stitch and yarn over, and you have 2 loops on your hook. Go ahead and get your red yarn, and then you're going to loop the yarn, the red yarn, turn your hook upside down and just loop it in. Oop. Do that one more time. Oop. You're just going to loop it in to those 2 loops on your hook. And then you're going to want to pull a little bit of the red yarn so you have enough for sewing into your work and tying a knot. And then take the white yarn that you were using and go ahead and cut that. I'm not going to need that one again. And then take your white and your red yarn and then just tie a knot. And then take your tapestry needle and that white yarn that you started with, go ahead and put that onto your tapestry needle because you're going to need to sew the bottom two pieces of the hat. So in the bottom stitch of that first half double crochet that you did, you're going to take your tapestry needle and just go through and loop the bottom edges of the hat. And then you're going to tie a knot. And we'll come back and bury this later into our work. So you can just leave it just like that. And so you can see how you've connected the hat and you have a nice circle for the hat. And we're going to do half double crochets around the circle. And at the same time, you're going to bury the two loose ends of yarn that you have so you don't have to bury them later when you're done. So now you're going to go ahead and chain 2, 1, 2, and that's going to be your first half double crochet, and then you're going to yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, and then pull through all 3 loops on your hook. And then you're just going to do half double crochets all the way around. And at the same time, you're just going to be burying the loose ends of the yarn. So I'll do a couple more with you. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and go through all 3. And then I'll do one more, yarn over, go through the next stitch, yarn over, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. And you can go ahead and cut those 2 loose ends so they get out of your way. And then just keep doing your half double crochets all the way around until you get back to the beginning. All right, and you can see how nice your hat is looking. And we're going to be sewing this on to the gingerbread man. But first, let's get it done. What we're going to do now is in that first half double crochet, we're just going to go to the top stitch of that first half double crochet, yarn over, and then pull through both loops on the hook. And then you're going to chain 2, yarn over, 1, 2. That's your first half double crochet. So go ahead and do 2 more rows of the half double crochet, 1 in each stitch. I'll do a couple with you. So yarn over and go into your next stitch, yarn over, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and go through all 3. And then yarn over and go into the next stitch, yarn over, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and go through all 3. And you're going to do that, go all the way around, do your slip stitch, chain 2, and then work your next row. So do 2 rows and then come back and I'll show you the next step. Okay, so I just finished my 3rd row. So 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and chain 2. 1, 2, and then this is going to be our decrease row. So we just did 1 half double crochet. We're going to do another half double crochet into the next stitch. And now, so I did one half double crochet in 2 stitches. Now we're going to do a decrease half double crochet. So you're going to yarn over and go into the next stitch, yarn over, and then yarn over and go into the next stitch and yarn over. And then you should have 5 loops on your hook. Go ahead and yarn over and pull through all 5 for a half double crochet decrease. And then go ahead and yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and go through all 3. And then you're going to do that one more time, yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over and go through all 3. So you're going to do 1 half double crochet in 2 stitches and then do a half double crochet decrease all the way around. Repeat that pattern all the way around back to where you started. So I'm going to do a decrease with you again. Go ahead and yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, 5 loops on your hook, yarn over, and then go through all 5 loops on your hook for a decrease. So go ahead and repeat that pattern all the way around and then come back and I'll show you the next step. I'm almost back to where I started, so I'm going to go ahead and I have 1 more stitch left. I'm going to go ahead and do a half double crochet into that stitch. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a slip stitch with the beginning stitch. And then chain 2, 1, 2, and then for this round you're going to do 1 half double crochet all the way around. So in the next stitch you're going to do a half double crochet and 1 half double crochet in every stitch all the way around. And when you get back, I'll show you the next step. Okay, so I'm back around. I'm going to go ahead and do a slip stitch into that first half double crochet, the first stitch, the top of it, yarn over, pull through both loops, and now I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, that's my first half double crochet, and then I'm going to do another half double crochet in the next stitch, and then so I'm going to do 1 half double crochet in 2 stitches, and then I'm going to do a decrease. So I'm going to go ahead and yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, go through the next stitch, yarn over, 5 loops on the hook, go ahead and yarn over and pull through all 5 for your decrease, and you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the beginning, and then come back and I'll show you the next step. Okay, I have 2 stitches left. I'm going to go ahead and do a yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, do a half double crochet in that stitch, and then do another half double crochet into the next stitch. And then I'm going to do a slip stitch. Just go to the top of the first half double crochet you did on that round, yarn over and just go through both. Now you're going to go ahead and chain 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to do 1 half double crochet in every stitch around. So you go ahead and yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through all 3. So go ahead and do 1 half double crochet in every stitch all the way around, and then come back and I'll show you what to do next. So you should be back to the beginning and have already completed your slip stitch. Go ahead and chain 2, 1, 2, and now you're going to do 2 more rows of 1 single chain in every stitch. So you're going to do 1 single chain in every stitch all the way around. 1 half double crochet, 1 half double crochet in every stitch all the way around. And then do that for 2 rows and then come back and then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so you should have finished your 2 rows and your work should be looking like this. So now you're going to go ahead and chain 2. 1, 2, and then we're going to do decrease, half double crochet decreases all the way around. So go ahead and yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, and then you have 5 loops on your hook. Go ahead and yarn over and pull through all 5 loops on your hook. And then you're going to yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, go in the next stitch, yarn over, 5 loops on your hook, yarn over, and go through all 5 loops on the hook. So go ahead and finish doing your half double crochet decreases all the way around, and then come back and I'll show you what to do. I'm almost back to the beginning, and I have one more stitch left. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a half double crochet in that last stitch. And then I'm going to go ahead and join with that first half double crochet that I did. Yarn over and then just pull through both loops on the hook. So now we're going to close the top, and how we're going to do that is by slip stitch. So you're going to skip one stitch and go into the next stitch, and then you're going to yarn over and then pull the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. So in the next stitch, you're going to skip that one and then go into the next stitch, then yarn over and pull through both loops on the hook. And then when you get down to the last few stitches, you can go straight across and then yarn over and just pull through to close the top of the hat. And then what you're going to do is join with the white. So you're going to take your white yarn and then you're going to loop it and grab it and pull it through the red loop, and then you're going to chain 1, then you're going to go ahead and cut the red yarn because you're not going to need that anymore, and then take the 2 ends, the white end and the red end, and just tie a knot. I'm going to tie it 3 times. And then just take your white yarn, and now you're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then you're going to take and go into that first chain with your hook, go into the first chain, and then you're going to yarn over and you're going to do a slip stitch, and you're going to pull the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch, and it's going to make a nice little ball for the top of the hat. So now we're going to finish off. So you're going to go ahead and yarn over and pull through the loop on your hook, and then just leave enough so you can sew it into your work. And then you're going to take your tapestry needle and take the end that you just cut, the white end of the yarn, and then you're going to take and go in through the top of the hat to the inside and grab it from the inside and pull it through. And then you're going to do the same thing with all of your yarn ends at the top. Pull it through to the center, and then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so you should have taken all of your yarn ends into the center of the hat. So you can go ahead and turn your hat inside out, and then just take all those yarn ends and then just tie a knot. And then you can go ahead and just cut it a little bit shorter, but not too short. And then just sew in any loose ends you have. I'm just going to sew this into the inside of the hat so nobody can see it and it doesn't come unraveled. And then you can turn your hat back to the right way. And then we're going to go ahead and put the hat on. Once you have the hat positioned where you want it on the gingerbread man, go ahead and fold the top portion of the hat down like this, and then take your tapestry needle and the red yarn. You're going to come in from the back and leave enough on the back for tying the knot. And then just go through so it keeps the fold in the hat. And then on the back you can just tie a knot. And you can finish folding or sewing the fold in the hat so it won't come loose. And then just tie another knot on the back. And you could bury it into your work or you can just cut it off the back. And then you're going to get the white yarn onto the tapestry needle, and then you're just going to sew the hat with the tapestry needle with the white yarn along the brim of the hat where you want it placed on the gingerbread man. And when you're done, just come back and we'll see the finished product. And there's your finished product. Your hat's all sewn on nicely. And here are the snowman and the gingerbread man both together, the set.